So I first start off with a background layer, and this is where I draw a grid. And then for this animation, I created a new layer and did just kind of a quick path of action. I usually bump the opacity down on that, like any kind of guides or anything, and then I lock that layer. And then for this, these are my key poses. So he comes in, he contacts, and he hits the ground. I knew I wanted a squash right there. And then he comes up and he lands, and I just copied and pasted my end pose right here. And I'm not sure about my timing yet. I'm just trying to tell the story, and I liked the idea of one foot touching before the other foot. So after I create my key poses, then I go back in, and I'm still not even thinking really about timing. I'm just trying to get some more drawings in. So I'm going to add some breakdowns at this point. So in between my first golden pose and this one, I added an in between here where he's coming up and this left leg is starting to raise up. Contact, and right before the squash, I wanted a little bit of the upper body kind of drags, and then whoosh, he comes down. And then here's another breakdown. He's gonna take off, but his bottom half and feet are gonna stay on the ground as he pushes off. He comes up and his foot touches, and then he comes down, and then here he pushes off again, comes up, foot touches, and he lands. Okay, so this is a little more broken down without even having any timing. So then I'll go in, once I have a few more drawings, like so for this one, like let's time it on 4s, everything on 4. So every drawing's gonna hold for 4 frames. And let's just hit play and see what it feels like. Okay, so at this point, kind of getting a feel for it, and I might say, okay, I know this end pose, I'm gonna have more happen. He's gonna hit and then kind of squash down and then come back up into this pose. So let's just hold this a few more frames. And the beginning feels kind of slow, where he comes in. Okay, so let's retime this on, oops, I want to lock that layer. Okay, so let's retime this on the first drawing. We're just going to hold it for 2 frames instead of 4 to make it quicker. And then we'll hold this one for 2 frames to make it quicker. And oosh, let's hold that for 2. And then from the time he hits down to the squash drawing, let's keep that the way it is. And then he's going to blast off. And so to get it up into that pose, let's hold it for 2. And he's going to come over and land. I'm down, and a quick little bounce. So let's try that one on 2. And okay, so now we're kind of on 2s, 4s, and this last drawing is held for I don't know, 39. Let's just hold it down to 59. 20 frames. Okay, so let's hit play and see where we're at. Okay, so it's starting to come together, and I can see at this point I need more drawings, right? So this is where I'll start to go in and add more, try to get it all on 2s. So in between this drawing and this drawing, I'll add a drawing right here at 9. And then between drawing 11 and 15, I'll do another drawing. And so this drawing, maybe he's starting to come up just slightly. He's starting to push out of this, right? And so if I go to my final animation, right here, you can start to see that, like, see there's that drawing, and he comes down, and he's starting to push off right here. You see that? And then he comes up into that, his foot touches, and then here's that ending I was talking about. He lands, but he comes down, and then he goes up into that. And I like to take the last drawing and I'll trace over it 2 times. So if you notice, when he gets up into that drawing, it's at 54, and then I traced it on 55, and I traced it again on 56, and then I just repeated those last 3 frames, 54, 55, 56, 54, 55, 56, and it makes the line wiggle and kind of stay alive. So kind of like Ed, Edd n Eddy, that cartoon, you know, where the lines are all wiggly. I just really like that. And then I went in and added a shadow underneath him, and I hid the trajectory, my initial sketch. And then if you go up here to X sheet, scene settings, camera background color, you can change this. I like to do kind of a mid-tone gray and hit apply. And then I created a layer underneath this pencil drawing and called it color. And then on every frame, I got the chalk brush over here. Let me see, it was this one right here, this little chalk, and I made it white, and then I just colored behind my drawing, every drawing, and I ended up with this. So remember, start with your key poses, and once you have those, break it down a little bit more, and then just keep breaking it down further and further and further, and pretty soon you'll have a finished animation. Alright, well, until next time, take care, happy animating, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.